because the next thing I did want to talk about, just based off this topic we had beforehand, is what is one position group you're looking at that the Niners need to address? I want to talk about this really quick first because I was looking at something, and you were just talking about the cornerback position. The 49ers took a cornerback at 102 and in the 5th round. The 49ers don't really seem to value the position all that much. And if you look at the history of this regime, I think their highest pick for a corner in general is 66 with Akella Witherspoon, who's not even on the team anymore. And then if you look up and down the 49ers starting secondary, I'm going to list off these guys now. Verrett, Tart, Ward, K'Wan Williams, Emmanuel Mosley. None of those guys played 16 games last season. And only 3 of them played 10-plus games. So, man, I was really frustrated that they didn't address this position in the draft or in free agency, quite frankly. And then if you look down the salary cap table in the next few years, the Niners only have 2 of those guys signed for next year, and then the year after that, none of them are on the roster. So it's a position that the team is just neglecting for the future. They seem to think they're okay for this year, but let's be realistic, Grant. Even if they're quote-unquote okay for this year at corner, it's a position they have to get younger at, and they need to get younger at soon.
Well, I think I'm intrigued by Ambry Thomas. That's one guy who could be good. He's 6 feet tall. He runs a 4.3. He has special teams experience, offense experience. I'm curious to see what he looks like in training camp. I mean, I'm not going to judge any of these rookies too hard in May. None of these guys were even playing in May last year. It's a good ramp-up period so they can actually compete in August. But Ambry Thomas is interesting. He's more physically gifted than Emmanuel Mosley right now. Right, you can see the difference. He's bigger, he's faster, he's more physically. It doesn't mean he's better. Mosley's got some experience. Mosley's pretty good. And then Jason Verrett looks terrific too. So if Verrett can stay, Verrett looks healthy. He looks like he's in great shape. Mosley's scrappy. Thomas has upside. The rest of the guys I'm not wild about, but I actually think they could use another edge rusher, man. I mean, they all assume Bosa's coming back and going to be great. I haven't seen him. And then D Ford, I don't know, man. I don't expect anything from him. And so right now what they got is Samson Ebukam and Eric Armstead on the edges. And then if it's not Armstead, it's going to be Arden Key. So why do that when there's Justin Houston available?
Melvin Ingram,
Everson Griffin. Yeah, I mean, why?
Yeah.
Why?
All these guys.
Yeah, so I think after June 1, there's going to be more movement on that, and that could be something the Niners do easily. Why not?
I actually really agree with that. I think it's something I didn't focus in on because I've been so hammered on the corner position. But you're right. I mean, they don't really have that true speed edge rusher to complement Nick Bosa, even if he is there. So it's a position they have to be aware of, or if not depth, just to get that extra starter in there.
I think so.
I totally agree. I mean, just even looking at the other signings they made on the defensive line, Arden Key, and some of the other people, those are mostly interior guys. I mean, besides Samson Ebukam, you're not signing a true pass rusher. And then even with Samson,
exactly. Sorry, you took the words out of my mouth. Is he a pure pass rusher? I mean, he's got upside, but he's kind of like a jack of all trades.
Well, and they seem to be wanting to use him for the Kyler Murrays of the world and the Russell Wilsons of the world to spy them too. So even then, he's not going to be playing edge in those games.
Exactly.
So
I mean, I was standing there at practice being like, just looking at the defense. Okay, I'm saying Armstead and Ebukam on the edges, huh? Is that the plan? That's not the plan. I mean, they could at least bring in someone else. Justin Houston always gets 8 sacks a year. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
And there's a ton of veterans available right now.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Like you were saying, post June 1, there's going to be a lot more options for the Niners. I think I don't want to judge them too harshly now because they will have the opportunity to make up those spots. It's unlike any year this year with free agency, just with what's going on with the pandemic. Teams will have all these other opportunities to get high-level players that you wouldn't otherwise get at this part of the offseason. And I think, like you're saying, there's like 3 guys we named that are just available now. So, yeah, absolutely the Niners
certainly
go out and get another pass rusher. But I do want to mention this on my way out with corner. So, as I mentioned, the 49ers don't value the position. They don't pick it highly. Of the top 10 corners paid in the NFL, 7 of them first-round picks. The other 3 second-round picks.
Exactly. So when you're waiting until round 3 to get corners, it's like, man, good luck. And Ambry Thomas, he seems like he has potential. Man, good luck. 102nd pick in the draft. You're really trying to find a diamond in the rough there.
In other years, Grant, that that's a 4th-round pick, actually, right?
Yeah.
Because that was a compensatory pick. So he's not. I
Just
mean,
think about it though, like the difference. Like it's very hard to draft a wide receiver or a quarterback. Quarterback, there's the scheme. There's so many variables that affect his play. The offensive line, the weapon. Same with a wide receiver. So many variables. There's a high bust rate, but with corners, just like man, just turn on the coach's tape and see if he can cover the best wide receivers man to man. It's just chasing. Can you chase him and keep it close? It's not hard. If you can see it. And those guys go very high in the draft. You just have to value it, basically. It's not like you have to have a keen eye to watch that.
No. I mean,
No.
look at teams who do value the secondary and corners
Right.
specifically. I mean, the Patriots, the Dolphins, those are 2 teams whose defensive ranked really well. I mean, the league is only going to more and more towards passing, and I don't like.
How many corners were taken in the top 33 this year? 6, 7,
something like that.
Something like that. Tyson Campbell went 33, and after that, it was pretty much over. I mean, if you want to get a corner after that, good luck.
I think the next one that was taken was Asante Samuel at 40.
Yeah. Yeah, and he might be good, but those guys who could be like who are looked at as potential number 1 corners, they go in round 1. Maybe they slip into the top of round 2. Maybe.
And that's the thing. Maybe. I mean, it's like you're saying. It's not as hard to like watch the position and just understand what guys are doing. I mean, you're either covering a guy or you aren't.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it.
You can do it. Get it done. But.
And then you go to the combine. You test well too. I mean, if you're running 4.3, you're 6 feet tall, and there's tape of you locking down the best college wide receivers, you're going to be a top 15 pick. That's it. End of story.
Yeah, absolutely.